Hey guys, Jonathan here, and today I'm very excited to show you how to make the characters from Indiana Jones and the Great Circle as LEGO minifigures. Sadly, we didn't get any LEGO sets for the film, but that doesn't mean we can't use our creativity to go ahead and make them using existing pieces, so that's what we're going to do today. If you're new here to the channel, be sure to hit like and subscribe down below. Check out my other LEGO Indiana Jones videos on the channel. I've reviewed every LEGO Indiana Jones set ever and some of the rarities you might not know about, so I think you'll dig that. And without further ado, let's start building these characters using 100% official LEGO parts and pieces. Spoilers ahead. So the game opens up with us being able to play through the opening of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is so cool and something I was not expecting to see at all. Because of this, we actually do have two 100% accurate minifigures to use here thanks to the Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Golden Idol LEGO set. This, of course, gives us Indy and Seppido from that set. No upgrades really to be made, and as far as Indy, on the back you can see that he has the spider cobwebs on there, and Seppido has the giant tarantulas on his back, so overall, definitely awesome. Of course, I'm going to add the Golden Idol in there as well, and honestly, if we just go ahead and focus on Indy for a second, this is the perfect version of Indy to use for the Great Circle game. The reason being is pretty much throughout the whole game we see him with his bare fists and the whip. So, this is the most accurate version from the new Indy minifigs we got in 2023, because the one from the Escape from the Lost Tomb set actually had gloves on the hand. So this is a good way to have an ungloved Indy for the rest of it, and I think that it's a really awesome figure in general, and honestly one of my favorite minifigs of all time. But anyways, let's get into more customs. Okay, so that brings us to Indy and Marcus at Marshall College during the break-in at the beginning of the game. So to build these, actually, they're pretty simple. I'll start with Marcus over here on the right. The legs and torso come from Bruce Wayne from the 2012 Batcave, actually. That's really accurate for this, and I like the way it looks. The head comes from Doctor Who from LEGO Dimensions, as well as the set, I believe. He came in that as well. And then I just used some flat brown hair. I used that same flat brown hair for Indiana Jones with the head from the modern Indy from the 2023 sets, as well as this torso from Professor Lupin from Harry Potter with some dark khaki legs to match. Now, there are some other suit options you could use, but I like that this is a nice balance between old LEGO, like how Indy might have looked in 2008, 2009, and modern LEGO, because it came out in like the early 2010s, this torso, so I think it's a good bridge between the two. Now that brings us to Locus. Of course, we see him in some different outfits throughout the game, so I just kind of went with the more iconic one from the end of the game, if you will, or the later stages. But for this, I used the torso from the Newsboy from the LEGO CMF series. Then I used the elongated arms from Jesse from Toy Story 3 with the elongated legs from the Avatar movie sets, because I think when you put him next to Indy, the height difference is just about right. I do think when Locus is standing on his own, it doesn't look right, but when you put him next to Indy as if these two were going to fight, I think that the height difference is just about perfect and makes perfect sense. That being said, I believe this head comes from one of the Jurassic World Trooper characters. I may be mistaken on that, and if I am, I'm sure somebody will let me know in the comments down below. Then of course I just put hands on there to match. I think you could also use something like one of the modern Clone Trooper heads, but if you guys have better ideas, let me know in the comments. Alright, now that takes us to the Vatican, and I just love where this game went with the story and everything. Obviously, we're in big spoilers now. I think it's so crazy that the game, ended up referencing the Nephilim and Noah's Ark and things like that. I'm a big history fan, and I also like a lot of unsolved mystery history, and it's really incredible how much research this game did into getting so many of those details right, at least as far as some of the theories and things like that go. Of course, a lot of it is mystery, and some of it kind of delves into conspiracy, but again, I really think that the game developers did an incredible job with the story and knocked it out of the park, so kudos to them, and we'll get back to the customs. If you can't tell, I'm trying to hide my excitement. I just love this game so much. Okay, for Father Antonio, I went ahead and flipped around one of the torsos from an Imperial Engineer, because LEGO has never made a priest outfit, and they never will, but this is pretty accurate to get that black suit with black legs. Then, of course, the head comes from Commissioner Gordon from well, I guess he's Lieutenant Gordon, technically, in the Batman sets, with matching hands and some swept-back black hair. Then for Indiana Jones, we're using that same modern Indy head with the flipped-around torso from Red Skull. That way you get the brown belt as well as his sash that's coming down. And yeah, we could use the satchel bag piece if we wanted, but, you know, I'm just giving you guys lots of options here. That flat brown hair is used again with black legs and tan hands. Now that brings us to Gina, and yes, we do see her at first disguised as a nun, but I really don't think that there's a convincing way to make a nun Lego because of the headpiece, so we're just going to skip ahead and do her main adventure outfit that we see for a good portion of the game. The torso comes from Claire Dearing from Lego Jurassic World. The head actually comes from the Pharrell Williams Over the Moon set. It may have been used in another place, but honestly, I'm not sure. I'm just telling you where I got mine from. I put matching hands on there with these brown legs and the hair from Chief O'Hara from the Lego Batman movie, although that hair has come in other places as well. Here we have our main villain, Voss, who I thought was absolutely terrifying. I loved the way they wrote his character, and of course, I love how driven he was in the game. It really made you feel like the stakes were high throughout the whole thing. That being said, I thought about using the head from Dennis Nedry from Jurassic World, but I thought that the face looked a little bit too chubby, so I went ahead and used the Harry Potter head here. Yes, we do have the lightning bolt above his eyebrow, but beyond that, I think that the glasses and the facial expression here work really well, and that Widow's Peak hairpiece works really well, I think, here. The torso comes from Bruce Wayne, although it's been used in lots of different places, but I popped white arms on there to show, you know, that it's a vest rather than a suit, and he's got black legs and tan hands to finish the look. Alright, so we've got another villain here with Victor Gant, and I really like the way this figure turned out because it goes back to some old Indiana Jones figures, that being the old Russian figures, or the Soviet figures from 2008's Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now, of course, that's not what Lego called them. I think they were just called, like, soldiers or something like that, but regardless, I think that the torso works really well here, and of course those matching legs work. Then I used the head and hair from Paul Walker's character from the Speed Champions Fast and Furious Nissan Skyline set, and that tied the whole thing together pretty easily. And here we have Indy and Gina from the Himalayas mission, which again, I thought was so cool how, like, they had the boat way up in the mountains and it crashed. Oh, God, it was just such a great game. I loved it. Okay, all right. Now, the figures here, of course, are Indy and Gina. For Gina, I used these dark khaki legs with this torso from the Sailor Ghost from Hidden Side several years back, the same Gina head from earlier, and a dark gray beanie that's come in a lot of Lego places. I actually used the eraser method to take some printing off of it, although I think it has come in just regular gray. I'm not exactly sure. The hands that I used here are the same ones that I used on Indy. Those are the same ones that came on Indy from the Escape from the Lost Tomb that have the gloves on. Not only do I think that the colors look era correct, but also it's just kind of nice to reference a color used on Indiana Jones from the recent sets. That being said, for Indy, the torso and legs come from Steve Trevor from Wonder Woman. I think that those work really well for here. This red hat with the ear flaps works really well for what we see in the game, and that's come in several different like Lego City sets and things like that over the last several years. And of course, he's got the modern Indy head to flesh out the look. So with that being said, let's round out the video and call it a day. Alright guys, let me know your thoughts on this showcase. I can't wait to hear them. I hope you guys are enjoying the game. The story is so incredible, and I hope that it's the first of many for an Indiana Jones video game franchise in this new era. Fingers crossed. Oh God, I'd love to get more Lego sets even at this point. I gotta keep myself from getting too hopeful or too excited and just be grateful for what we do have. Anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts, and I'll see you guys on the next video.